I have a message for these two guys up here, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and His Excellency Peter Obi. Number one is this, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, look, your next year presidential pension, election next year pension, will not work. Do you know why? If you come up with this Muslim ticket that you initiated in the first place, you were the one that brought this Muslim ticket nonsense that destroyed our political structure in this country, that destroyed our political system in Nigeria. You brought up this idea just because of your selfish ambition. I didn't vote for you the last election. I voted for Peter Obi. Now, you must drop that. You must drop that plan. You must drop it. If you don't drop it, this is what will happen. The likes of my platform and my platform, we oppose you online. We campaign against you online in a manner that you may have to get me arrested. You will not like it. So you have to drop it. So these are the two conditions we are giving you, sir. Number one, there will be no Muslim ticket. We don't want it. Number two, you must pick up a running mate, a Christian running mate from the middle belt or from the southeast or south. You must not pick up a Christian running mate from the far north. We don't want it. Because to us, we believe any Christian coming from the far north might be playing takia on us, just like the way you play takia on your Muslim community. So we don't want that. So if you can meet up with these two conditions, yes, we will start talking about it, because a number of organizations have reached out to me, telling me, why am I campaigning for you? Why am I rooting for you? I said, look, I'm rooting for you because I discovered that since you won that election, you became the president, you were trying to regionalize power to the south. Yes, that is what I observed. That you were trying to see how power will remain in the south for the next 4 years, for the next 8 years. I discovered that. Because you have sidelined the likes of Shettima, El-Rufai, and the northern political elites that have influence on this country. That is why I decided to start talking about you in the first place. So until then, you meet up with these two conditions. We are watching. Then number two is Excellency Peter Obi. Look, you cannot align with any of these northern political elites because these people don't really appreciate you in the last election. Yes, I know how politics works. There is no permanent enemy in politics. Fine. But trust me, whatever you are doing with these guys, they want to leverage on your popularity. And trust me, you will regret it. So, you aligning yourself with the likes of Atiku, El-Rufai, and all those guys, we will campaign against you. My platform in particular, not with this platform, we campaign against you, oppose you. In fact, I will do it in a manner that will be worse than Reno Mokri. Yes. So you just have to play your card very well. You have to be very careful. And I doubt it if they will allow you to pick that presidential ticket. Those guys will not allow you. And don't tell us you want to come as vice president for Atiku, or because I don't know how Atiku will come as vice president for you when he has, he was once a vice president for Obasanjo, during Obasanjo's regime. So I doubt it if Atiku will agree to that same that he will come as vice president for you. And I doubt it if El-Rufai will come as vice president for you. And I doubt it if Kwankwaso, I just doubt it. So we are watching.
Showore is the only person that has proposed the solution to Nigeria's problem as an individual, not as a presidential aspirant or the next president of Nigeria. But I'm telling you, Showore is the only person. And that is why you see, as far as I'm concerned, I may not support him politically, but I'm telling you for life, I support his ideology. And what is his ideology in regards to the solution to Nigeria? He has proposed just one thing, which is revolution. When you talk about revolution now, people usually actually think it's always a call for an arm or whatever. But Showore is not even proposing that. If you actually look at what he's trying to say, the fact is, citizens must rise up to the occasion and actually challenge that which has existed against that which they want and desire. But you see, the problem is, whenever you conceive this kind of ideologies, you will always be left in the middle. Just like when he's protesting against Free Nnamdi Kanu and a lot of other protests, you see him running, and Nigerians are coming to yab him that you say you are strong or whatever. So that is the problem. But realistically speaking, let me tell you this thing. If you're actually thinking And I want to be brutally frank here. If you're actually thinking and you are hoping that the next election is going to give birth to a next president that will transform the society or whatever, let me tell you, realistically speaking, your next president is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Do you hear that? Let me say it again. Your next president is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And do you know why I say this? Let's analyze it. Very simple and clear. Look at it. At the moment now, Tinubu have succeeded in bringing all the state governors or whatever, the camping, whatever, into the political party, which is to say, to some certain extent, politically, he exerts greater influence in regards politicking. APC is the major party at the moment with a lot of subscribers. That is one. But that is not the point. The point is the fact that the next opposition you now have is PDP and ADC. PDP is dead. Let's tell ourselves the truth. PDP is dead. ADC now are left with one option. They must produce a candidate, a presidential candidate that is not a northerner. Because if they produce a presidential candidate that is a northerner, the Yorubas will not vote for him. The Igbos will not vote for him. That is a northerner. I mean, the Yorubas will not vote for him. The Igbos will not vote for him because they feel the northerners have had enough. The next thing now is when the ADC produce a non-northern candidate, which likely is Peter Obi, right? So the major problem now becomes, how do you go back to convince these people, these northern people that you have already told for a very long time and it has stick in their mind that an Igbo person should not be trusted? He is all about division. How do you convince the North to vote for Peter Obi? Do you get it? A lot of people are, hey, I'm a northerner, I support Peter Obi or whatever, but the fact is you are just little minority, possibly minority tribe. If I must be very brutal to you, sincerely brutal, is a lot of, in short, majority of the Northwest, majority of the fanatics, religious fanatics will never, they will rather buy than to vote for Peter Obi. So how do you convince them to tell them that this is a man? Even if you attach another vice president to him, they are smart enough to know that this one now vice, you know, if he do anything, just like Shetima is there now. So how do you convince them? You can't convince them in that regards, right? So at the end of the day, if you say you are going to pick a Yoruba candidate, who is that person that exert influence in the whole of Yoruba land now more than Tinubu? There is none. If you say you are going to bring, Jonathan has not even joined the ADC, but let's even assume he joined. When you bring Jonathan now, he's going to come with a lot of skeletons in his closet, because take it or leave it, whether it's propaganda that kick him out of power, but the fact is there was an obvious fact that he was incompetent, right? So that is going to resurface again, and a lot of other things. So at the end of the day, the ADC is left with no option rather than to provide an Igbo candidate. And when you provide an Igbo candidate, how do you convince the fanatical northerners? Alright? So that is dead on arrival. Alright? PDP, are we going to be talking about PDP? There's nothing to talk about PDP again. The lives of them Wike. That is why I find it funny when Wike is saying that if you leave PDP today, PDP will collapse. PDP is already dead, not collapse. And that is why you're struggling now. You have left the appointment of minister. Now you are going to struggle with Fubara, because Fubara has decamped when you didn't tell him to do so. And your only relevance that even got you that ministerial appointment was because you're in PDP and you're an antagonist. And that is why you're there. Now you are left in the middle that Fubara have decamped. So, what any other possible alternative do you think that can be presented to defeat Tinubu? Nothing. And that is why I told you, Showore is the only person that has proposed that. So his proposal is, don't even wait for 2027. The fact is, now is the time. Make leaders accountable for their atrocities or you kick them out. But the fact is, the more you see, the less you understand. The more you talk, the less people understand. At the end of the day, most especially when Showore, I would have loved a situation sincerely when if Showore doesn't apply a kind of political party to his movement. And if there's one thing I want this to get to Showore, please, as much as possible. Showore, revolution is possible in Nigeria, but not a national revolution. Regional or sectional revolution is possible, but not a national revolution. I must commend your effort in regards all your Kiribo initiative of compensating swimmers coming to swim. That is another way of promoting the nation and actually writing your name in the book of history. I must commend that. I'm your staunch follower, and I'm telling you, in the midst of all this political whatever, you are going to remain my best for life. We may have disagreement in terms of other ideologies, but I'm telling you, I'm your staunch supporter, and nothing is going to change that. But disabuse your mind in regards to national revolution. It's not possible. We are divided beyond national revolution. So if there is anything possible, I want you to be a movement, seriously, just like Madiba. Keep politics aside for now, and let's be all about movement. I believe in the Take It Back movement, but I don't subscribe to AAC. Seriously. And that is my opinion. I hope you understand this and we can build more on this sincerely. That is my opinion. But in the spirit of, hey, ballot, get your voter's card, whatever, forget it. Amopita is there, waiting is there. What are you waiting for? Be comfortable with if you're waiting for 2027. Bulaba is your next president. Jagaban Emilokon, whether you like it or not.
Is Tinubu there? This is a message to Tinubu. I'm not a fan of Tinubu. I have never been and I will not be. When he stole our mandate, when he grabbed, snatched and ran away with our mandate into Asorok, I cried. I cried like hell because I worked so hard campaigning for Peter Obi, helping people, just telling people, go and register for your voter's card. I was calling Nigeria 24/7, talking to people during the election, telling people to vote Labour, vote for Peter Obi, because I was not a fan of Tinubu, because I saw him from the beginning as a crook, which he is. I'm sorry to say that. So now he's in Asorok. The only thing Tinubu can do for Nigerians before they throw him out in 2027, because he's coming back, is not guaranteed. If he likes, he can gather all the governors, the senators, and the reps to his side. Those are very few people compared to the numbers of Nigerians. Nigerians, most of them want to change. They are not happy with the way Tinubu's government is going. Many Nigerians are suffering, so therefore they know who they want to vote for come 2027. Tinubu, on the other hand, bribing people up and down, looking for ways to stay in power. That is his choice. If he thinks he can make it, fine. But my own is this. Before Tinubu leaves office, or before they throw him out in 2027, he should do Nigeria this favor. He should restructure the country. State self-governance, autonomy to states, so that they can live and sustain themselves with or by their resources or with their resources. I don't know what to say. And he should also implement a law to zone the presidential ticket among the 6 geographical zones. Because the way it is now, we do not have a balanced power change. North, south, north, south. That's cheating. That's not right. We should zone it around the country. North-east, northwest, northeast. And then we have north central, we have southwest, we have south-south, and southeast. The presidential ticket should be zoned within these 6 geographical zones of Nigeria. So Tinubu should do this favor for Nigerians. Implement the law to zone the presidential ticket, so it doesn't look like other people are being cheated. There are good people, potential people who can be president in other region of the country, but since it's only north and south, we kept having Fulani and Yoruba. Jonathan was just an accident because Yaradua passed. That was why Jonathan became the president of Nigeria. So the cheating is too much. The cheating is just too much. If we must have peace in Nigeria, if we must have balance of power in Nigeria, the presidency must be zoned within the 6 geographical zone.
Good day to our viewers all over the world, and welcome back to Local Journal. I've always maintained that Peter Obi has a very slim chance of making it as the president of Nigeria come 2027. And this is not from an emotional point of view, but from the fact and what is happening in Nigeria. We know how our Nigerian politics is and how politics run in Nigeria. And with the steps the ruling party is taking now, that almost all southern governors are now in APC, including the middle belt. I doubt if it's going to be like this, just like it was for Peter Obi in 2023, in 2027. He enjoyed so many support in 2023. I supported him, and I currently do. But the issue is this: there are so many stumbling blocks against his presidency. I, for one, think and will suggest that the Igbos should be allowed to run this time. But with the constraint against their presidency, I believe it's going to be very difficult for it to come to fruition. And it's better we take it back in the south, or the continuity of the south is like kind of given more preference than allowing a northerner to come and take over power. This is because the north has done their 80s already, and it's the turn of the south. But the northern politicians are trying to get power back to the north using the back door. The reason why the North are frolicking with Peter Obi is actually because of his elite performance in the 2023 general election. These people underrated him and thought he was not going to get good votes. But when the votes all came out, they were surprised. And many people from many corners of Nigeria said he actually won the election, but was rigged out. But that's a story for another day. But 2027 is going to be a different ball game, owing to the fact that some supporters of his have returned back, basically because of tribal differences or some personal reasons. And we also know that even some of Tinubu's supporters have left based on his physical reforms and economic reforms. So that's how it is at the moment. But if you look at the current data and the indices, we will know that it's going to be a very difficult one for Peter Obi. From the analysis and from what we all know that is very obtainable in Nigeria politics is that the North voting an Igbo man doesn't really sit well with them because of their religious differences and their long-standing infractions and difference they've not been able to settle. And that's the reason why they tilt towards this Yoruba thing. But if you look at what is happening under this Tinubu's government, the North feels that they've been shortchanged, and the best way to deal with the Yoruba government is to vote them out come 2027. And doing that is not going to be at the detriment of what the North stands for. And bringing an article now, it's going to put the South against him, because the South are not going to vote Atiku if he venture against the ADC presidential ticket and he becomes their flag bearer. There is no way Southerners and middle belters are going to vote for him. And as it stands, Tinubu is not going to enjoy the votes of the North like he did in 2023, because of the singular fact that the North feel they've been shortchanged, and Tinubu has not paid them for the support he enjoyed. Rather, he has paid them with wickedness instead of good in their own eyes and according to their statement that they've been making online. And for Peter Obi now, he enjoys the support of the middle belt, his region, that's southeastern part of the country, and a few places around the country as well. But the bulk of the vote comes from this far northern region of the country, and convincing the North to vote for him is going to be a very big stumbling block for him. And this is the reason why most people have the opinion that it's going to be a very difficult election for Peter Obi. And even looking from the whole thing that will play out and Atiku's body language, he is saying that the primaries is going to be contested. And we know how a power drunk Atiku is. Atiku will always want to contest. So from the look of things, Atiku might become the flag bearer of ADC. And if he becomes the flag bearer, it's an automatic ticket for Tinubu, because of course the whole of the South will vote him, and the whole of the East will vote him, the whole of the Middle Belt will vote him, and Atiku will just be relegated to Northern vote. This is just what it's going to play out in 2027. So I believe it's a proper time for Peter Obi to go back to the drawing board, to re-strategize and put his own political interests above the interests of these people who are trying to use him for their own selfish interest. He should put the interests of his people, the interests of the Igbos, the interests of the South, and his own personal interest before considering the interest of anybody that might want to come and use him. And that's to say that he should never accept any agreement that will make him the vice presidential candidate in any joint ticket. This is my opinion. Kindly drop what you think about this in the comment section, and if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.